Hello and welcome back to the shop. My name's John, and if this is your first time here and you enjoy what you see, maybe you'll consider subscribing. That's up to you. So something you may not know about me is that I'm a bit of an outdoor enthusiast. In fact, I've been backpacking for about 20 years now. And with any hobby, these days, there's a corresponding YouTube channel that you can always depend on. And for me, it's no different. In my case, one of my main go-tos, in fact, probably my favorite backpacking and outdoor related channel is Adventure Archives. And you should definitely check them out if you enjoy any kind of hiking content, backpacking, nature, all of that. One of the things I appreciate about the guys is how much effort and time and work they put into each video. Their videos can reach as much as like 2 hours long, which is a bit of a time investment for sure for a YouTube video. But honestly, every shot, every frame is like so well thought out that you just have to appreciate it. I've decided that I am going to make a set of coasters. Some that are truly wild, like one-of-a-kind, unique, verging on garish coasters. And I'm gonna send them to the guys. Now, of course, there's a fine line between wild and garish, and I fully intend to dance all over that line. Let's get to it. So we're going to start off with some domestic hardwoods in hard maple and cherry, and then we'll move into sapele, which is sometimes attributed as mahogany, and then we're going to move into this. This is called Purple Heart for obvious reasons. No, that is not tinted by any chemicals. That's what the middle of the tree looks like. And then we'll throw in some of this. This is Padauk. Again, not tinted. That is the actual color. This is from Africa. So, surely we can make something almost garish out of this. Definitely one of a kind. We got all of our material down to their rough length. I would like to resaw some of these pieces, if not all of them, into halves, and then that way we can do sort of a Joseph's Technicolor coat here, and kind of mix some of the wilder colors in with the more muted cherry and, of course, maple. Okay, this is our color palette here. I resawed everything except for the Purple Heart. And so we've got 2 slices of Padauk, we got 4 of sapele, and we got 2 of cherry and 2 of maple. So after we plane all of this, it should be closer to the final dimension that we're looking for. So, end of day 1, here's where we are. I've just got these clamped together just to hold them in place, but I think this is the pattern we're gonna go with. Looks pretty wild, I think, and well, that's the desired effect. And now we wait. All right, we're gonna clean this up on the joiner now and get a real nice picture of what this cross section is going to look like. All right, so there we go, nice and cleaned up. And basically this is now what the face of the coasters will look like. We're gonna cut it this way on the bandsaw. We'll cut multiple slices out of this, and then we'll joint and plane them and make them clean on all sides, and then we'll cross cut. So the first pass, that's what we're looking at. So I would say definitely want to go much stronger. So we're gonna adjust. All right about there. Lock it into place. Okay, it is now several days later. I've been plowing through the sanding and getting that done. I did not film the vast majority of that because I respect you, the viewer, enough to not put you through that. I mean, I hate sanding. I don't want someone to watch me sand. It's crazy. So we are right there at the point where we can start putting finish on these. However, I have one more trick up my sleeve, and I think you're gonna like this one. All right, we are jumping back into the action a few days later. I have started to put finish on these coasters. We're about 2 coats in. Like always, I do 3 full coats. I'm not gonna record that whole process. If you're interested in watching my finishing process, there's plenty of them on my channel that go through in great, tedious, and I would dare say boring detail on how that goes about. In my opinion, 5 thin coats renders the best results, and that's my method, and I'm gonna stick with it. It's just tried and true. The results speak for themselves. Anyway, we're gonna plow on through with this, and then in a couple days, we'll pick back up in the action when we move on to the next step. So with that being said, see you in a couple days. Once again, several days have gone by. However, now we are officially done with the finishing process. The 5th, maybe 6th coat went on yesterday. I don't actually remember how many coats I put on. I kind of lost count. I know that there's at least 5, but there may be more. Anyway, the sheen looks fantastic as expected because this process is tried and true. We'll pull this in here. Wow, look at that beautiful shine. Not overly glossy, but just enough of a gleam to bring out that grain. Anyway, since we're done with the finishing process, we can now move on to the next step, which is to apply cork to the backs of each coaster. The cork will do 2 things. One, it'll protect the coaster from whatever surface that you're placing the coaster on. Also, vice versa, it'll protect the surface that you're putting the coaster on, and everybody will be happy. So I've got 4" by 4" square cork pieces with adhesive backs. So we're gonna figure out what the dimensions need to be for these coasters particularly, and then batch out 16 of them and get them put on there. And then we can move on to the final stages. Are you excited? I'm excited. All right, fam, there we go, all corked up. And normally I would just bind these together in sets of 4, but this is not a normal circumstance, and we're gonna take it a step further. All right, and we are back. It is the next day. At the end of last night's session, I was starting to cut out pieces for coaster holders, and here is the prototype. As you can see, it's just a square block of wood, and I've got 4 oak dowels recessed into it. Simple design, basically just keeps the coasters in plain view wherever they are, but gives them a nice home to live in. Probably going to put a bottom chamfer on it. I think that's a nice look. I've done that on coaster holders before. So yeah, I just need to make 3 more of these, identical. I wanted to show you this. This is my layout lines here. And I just have a few more tick marks to make before I drill the holes. And you'll see that process in a minute. Hello and welcome to the drilling station. And we're gonna use it now to drill some holes. If you look in close, you can see I've got a center point now in between those lines. That is where I put the center point of the drill bit and we'll drill the hole. All right, so I have the table set here. I've got this scrap piece of wood here, and I'm using this because I don't want to sit this directly on the cast iron. Not that I'm afraid that it'll mar, but there's always that possibility. And I've got the depth of it set just right so that when I drill, this bit will go halfway through the wood, which is a good distance for it to go, which gives the dowel plenty of material to sit inside the block. Using my video light as illumination so I can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not turn it on yet, and I'm going to use the point to find that line and then press down, and when I pull it up, it's left an indentation in the wood. Now I'm going to try and not move this too much. I'm going to take my hand, hold it in place. No wiggles, no wiggles, no wiggles. All right. And snug it up nice and tight. And as you can see, it is right between these 2 lines. Perfection. That's exactly what we want. So there's a possibility that it may be slightly off of this center axis, but that's less important than it being between these 2 lines, because these lines here affect the inner width where the coasters, which I don't even have any of them over here with me, the coaster has to fit in between these lines. If I make it too wide, it gets a little jiggly, a little too jiggly. I want some space, but not tons of space. If I get it too narrow, you can't even get the coaster in there, and that means the whole thing is scrapped. So anyway, we're gonna plow on, we're gonna continue drilling holes and get these all done, and then we can move on to final assembly of this after, of course, we do some edge profiling. 2 coats of finish on these and done. I can ship these out. And once again, several days have gone by since we were last here. However, at this point, we're actually done. Sort of. I ended up putting 3 coats of finish on the coaster holders, and so we can pretty much just button this up. Well, you guys, it feels like it's been 6 long years since I started this project, but I've got them all done. They're in their holders. All I need to do is bind these up with some string, toss them in a box, and send them into the great beyond. I would like to thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you are a real trooper. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button. You know, I don't really get money out of it, but hey, it makes me feel good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. However, just like on the coasters got all of our holes drilled for the remaining 3. So, coming in while I'm recording, I see.